Every single day, people spend this coin without knowing. Every single day, someone loses a fortune without ever realizing it. Today is the day that stops for you. Because what I am about to show you is not some obscure museum piece locked behind glass. It is not a coin that only existed in a single collector's vault for centuries. It is a Roosevelt Dime, a coin that looks, feels, and spends exactly like the 10-cent piece you tossed into a tip jar last Tuesday. And the specific version of it I am about to describe to you, the 2002 P. Roosevelt Dime, has been valued by serious numismatic experts at $53 million. Let that land for a second. $53 million. We are talking about a coin that could buy you roughly 300 average American homes. We are talking about a coin that represents more than 1,000 years of average American salary, sitting in one single piece of metal the size of your thumbnail. And the part that should genuinely make your hands a little unsteady right now, this coin was in circulation. It passed through registers and wallets and coin jars and parking meters without anyone noticing what it actually was. And that is just the first coin in today's video. What is coming after this? I am genuinely not going to hint at it. Not because I am being dramatic, but because if I told you the next coin story right now, you would not believe me without seeing the full picture first. So stay right here. Every second of this video is going to earn your time. Now let me take you back to 2002, because to understand why this coin is worth what it is worth, you need to feel the year it came from. America in 2002 was a country catching its breath. The wounds of September 2001 were still raw and visible everywhere. In the news, in the way people spoke to each other, in the quiet urgency that had settled over every American institution, including the Philadelphia Mint. The Mint was running at intense production capacity, pushing millions of dimes out daily to meet commercial demand, workers arriving for early morning shifts, enormous presses hammering metal at a pace that left almost no room for individual quality inspection, the air inside that facility carrying the metallic smell of freshly struck coins and the deep mechanical rhythm of a production floor that never truly stopped. In that environment, loud, pressured, fast-moving, something happened that nobody planned for and nobody caught in time. And the result of that moment is what we're talking about right now. The specific characteristic that makes the 2002 P. Roosevelt Dime so extraordinary is a double die obverse error of severity that has been documented only once in the Roosevelt Dime series, a hub doubling so dramatic and so precisely visible that the moment you know what to look for, you will never be able to unsee it on your own coins. Here is exactly what happened inside that press. The working die, during the hubbing process, shifted position between impressions, not by a fraction of a millimeter the way minor double dies do, but by a significant and clearly measurable degree that left every element of Roosevelt's portrait showing a bold, raised secondary image directly alongside the primary, under a basic 10 power loop, the kind you can buy for under $20. You can see this doubling with complete clarity on Roosevelt's eye, on the lettering of Iron God, we trust above his portrait, and most dramatically on the date itself, where the numbers show a thick, shadow-like separation that looks almost three-dimensional under direct light. The mechanical reason this was not caught is exactly what you would expect from a high-pressure production environment. Dies were being processed and mounted quickly. Quality checkpoints were spaced too far apart in that specific production run, and by the time the error was identified, a small but specific number of coins had already been struck and released into general circulation through Federal Reserve distribution channels. And here's the part that most people never find out. The coins that survived in mint state condition, coins that were pulled from circulation early and preserved without the contact marks and where that destroyed numismatic value. Those specific survivors represent a population so small that certified high-grade examples can be counted without running out of fingers. But wait, because there is one more thing about this coin that even experienced dealers frequently overlook entirely. The 2002 P carries an additional characteristic beyond the double die, a die polish pattern on the reverse that is unique to this specific production run, creating a subtle but documented variation in the surface texture of the torch and olive branch design that authentication experts use as a secondary confirmation marker. This means you are not just looking for one thing. You're looking for a combination that, when present together, places this coin in a category entirely its own. And I need you to hold that thought for just a moment, because what is coming in the second half of this video involves a coin from 1995 that has a story so layered, so personally urgent, that I have actually been deciding how to tell it properly since I planned this video. The collector world that chases the 2002 Doubled Die Roosevelt Dime is not casual. These are not weekend hobbyists flipping through folders at a local coin show. The serious buyers chasing the specific coin are professional numismatists with decades of focus, private investors who track certified population reports the way stock traders track earnings reports, and a specific group of Roosevelt Dime specialists who have dedicated years of their collecting lives to finding exactly this variety. When a certified example of this coin entered a major auction house, the room had a particular kind of quiet that only happens when something genuinely unexpected appears on the floor. Bids opened at a number that would have seemed absurd for a Roosevelt dime 10 years earlier. Then they climbed. Then two bidders, both representing serious private collections, pushed the number into territory that made the rest of the room stop and simply watch. The gavel came down. One person left with the coin. The other sat still for a long moment before standing up. That is what genuine numismatic rarity does to a room of experienced people who are not easily impressed. And right now, at this very moment, someone watching this video might be holding one of these without having any idea what they're actually sitting on. So here is your private tip. The one detail that separated a common 2002 dime from the one worth $53 million. Start with the date. Hold your coin under a direct light source and use a loupe or even your phone's camera zoom to look closely at the numbers. On the valuable variety, you will see a clear, raised doubling on the digits. Not a smear, not a shadow from light angle, but a genuine second set of raised lines parallel to the primary numbers. Then move your eye to Roosevelt's portrait and focus on his eye and the lettering above. The doubling there is even more dramatic when you know what you are seeing. Your coin does not have to be uncirculated to be worth examining. Even lightly circulated examples with a full doubling visible carry extraordinary value. The fact that you are still here, that you stayed through every detail in this section, that actually matters, because the person who finds this coin is going to be someone who knew what to look for. And now you do. What is coming up next in this video is a 1995 Roosevelt Dime with a story that starts with something completely unexpected happening inside the Philadelphia Mint, a specific production anomaly that was not discovered for years after the coins entered circulation. I have been saving this one deliberately. If you have your notifications on, subscribe right now and hit the bell icon, because this channel covers what most channels are not paying close enough attention to find. And after this video, go find our coverage of the 1982 Roosevelt Dime. That coin is still out there in circulation right now, and somebody is going to find one very soon. It might as well be you. Hold on, because what I am about to show you next, even I was not ready for this the first time I saw it. The 1995 Roosevelt Dime, a coin that was produced in the millions, distributed across the entire country, spent in vending machines and handed back as change in diners and drugstores, and yet sitting inside that ordinary exterior is something so extraordinary that its documented numismatic value has reached $59 million. $59 million. That is more than the 2002 we just covered. And now that you understand how that coin earned its value, I want you to carry that knowledge into this next story, because what the 1995 did, it did differently. It did it in a way that the numismatic world spent years trying to fully understand. And honestly, once you hear it, You are going to want to check every single 1995 dime you can find tonight. America in 1995 felt like a country picking up speed. The economy was building momentum. The internet was beginning to change how people communicated. And there was a specific kind of cultural optimism in the air that touched everything, including the pace and pressure inside the Philadelphia Mint. Production targets were high. The facility was processing hundreds of millions of coins across multiple denominations, and the Roosevelt Dime line was running at a pace that left workers focused entirely on output and volume. In that environment, that specific combination of optimism and speed and volume, a die preparation error was made that would not be fully identified and cataloged for nearly a decade after the coins had already spread silently into the American economy. Imagine holding this coin in your palm right now. It feels identical to every other Roosevelt dime you have ever touched. Same weight, same diameter, same familiar silver tone surface, but under magnification. Under that same basic loop you already went looking for after the last coin, something reveals itself that is genuinely difficult to believe the first time you see it. The 1995 P carries a repunched mint mark variety of exceptional severity, combined with secondary die characteristic that has been documented by PCGS and NGC as unique to a specific production window within that year's Philadelphia output. The repunching on the P mint mark is dramatic and completely unmistakable once you know it is there. The primary P is clearly visible, and directly overlapping it at a measurable rotational offset is a second impression of the same mark, creating a thickened, doubled mint mark that almost looks intentional when you first see it, like someone was trying to make the mark bolder, but was actually capturing the mechanical ghost of a die that shifted between strikes. And here's the part that most people never find out. The specific repunch mint mark combined with the secondary die characteristic places surviving mint state examples of this coin in a certified population so small that the numismatic community treats confirmed examples as genuinely historic documents rather than simply rare collectibles. The mint made this combination exactly once. One specific production window, one specific set of circumstances. And the coins that came out of that window and then survived circulation without losing the sharp detail that makes the variety identifiable are the coins that carried a $59 million valuation. I know what you are thinking right now. You are thinking that you have probably had a 1995 P-dime in your hands at some point in your life and never once thought to look at the mint mark under magnification. Your reaction is exactly what mine was when I first understood what I have been walking past. And that is not your fault, because until you know that this variety exists, there is no reason to look. But now you know, and that changes everything from this point forward. The collector obsession around the 1995 P. Roosevelt Dime has a specific character to it, quieter and more intense than the excitement around flashier error coins, because the people who chase this variety tend to be the most serious students of the Roosevelt series, specifically individuals who have studied every documented variety across every year and every mint, who understand exactly how rare a confirmed repunched mint mark of the severity actually is in combination with the secondary die characteristic. When a certified MS 67 example of this coin appeared at a major numismatic auction, the auction room had a different energy than you might expect. Not the theatrical tension of celebrity memorabilia, but the focused, almost reverent quiet of people who understood precisely what they were looking at. Bidding was methodical and relentless. Two private collectors, both representing serious long-term Roosevelt Dime collections, pushed the price through territory that would have been unimaginable for a Roosevelt Dime at any previous point in numismatic history. The gavel came down. The winning collector sat back in her chair and exhaled slowly. The losing bidder closed their catalog and left without speaking. That moment, that specific auction room energy, is what genuine, documented rarity actually looks like in practice. And right now, at this very moment, Someone watching this video is sitting on a fortune they do not even know they have. That someone could genuinely be you. So here's exactly how to check your own coins. Pull out every 1995 P. Roosevelt Dime you can find. Check your coin jar, your old collection folders, anywhere you have stored change from that era. Hold each coin under a direct light source, and use your loupe to examine the P mint mark directly. You are looking for thickening, for a mint mark that appears heavier or slightly doubled compared to a standard single impression mark. On the genuine variety, you can see the offset of the secondary impression at roughly a 10 o'clock position relative to primary. Then examine the reverse for the secondary die characteristic, a subtle but real difference in the surface texture of the flame element of the torch design that authentication experts document as a confirming detail. You do not have to be an expert. You just have to know where to look. And now you do. Go check your coins. Right now. Tonight. Because someone watching this video is sitting on a fortune they do not even know they have. That someone could be you. And if today gave you something real, something most people who walk past coin jars every single day will never know, then subscribe to this channel and hit the bell. Because what is coming to Coin Nexa Vault is going to be worth every single notification. And after this, go watch our video on the 1970 S small date Lincoln cent. That coin is still being found in circulation. And the next person to find one might be someone who learned to look because they watched this channel first.